I'm taking you in. I'm taking in the energies. And I invite you, as you look at the screen, I invite you to just open to receive. And I'm going to invite you to begin this meeting by closing the eyes where all these images are no more. So you are no longer looking at anybody or anything. Yet still there is looking. I invite you to turn that looking back to what you are. Taking a look at how your body is right now. And seeing if it's possible to begin to drop down through the layers much like dropping down through the ocean. It's very easy to see how on the surface of the ocean there are waves. And just like falling down through the ocean. You begin to drop into deeper levels. As you let go of everything that is on the surface, you let go of all kinds of holding. You let go of the image of who you take yourself to be. You let go of all expectations you have in life. You let go of every idea of how you think life should be. And slowly it is like you are falling into a place in you which is very quiet. All of that energy and all of that attention that goes out to create a world is turning back. And as you fall deeper, you are aware of sitting in front of a computer screen. You are aware of meeting on a call with many beings around the planet. You are aware of the surface waves of experience. And yet, you are knowing yourself much, much deeper than this experience. And the more that you are willing to give up any attachment to the surface and fall, like dropping down through the ocean, there is no end to the depth of what you are as pure being. And this being is no different than any being on this call or throughout humanity, throughout existence. This beingness is life itself. This is not a thought or a belief. This is direct experience right now. And I invite you as your own self to feel directly into what you are right now with no idea. And this is where we truly meet, beyond all images or projections, a direct meeting of pure knowing, which has nothing to do with anybody separate knowing anything. It is pure intelligence in a true meeting with itself through form. And letting go into that, just really letting go into this vast, wide open, free space of pure awareness. Really let yourself go. Let your small self go. Mm. Ah, and there is no end to letting go. And this is where you begin to taste the deliciousness of what you are as a being. And there is no more trying to get anything or trying to be somebody special. You are already what you long for. So with the eyes closed, I invite you to just explore a little bit by looking to see if you find a place where you begin or you end. Where is the beginning or ending of you? Where is the ending of you and the beginning of the computer screen? Being still aware of the surface of sitting, attending a call with beings all around the globe who have no distance. Where is the ending of you and the beginning of somebody else? Ah. And if you really see that, you can open up as awareness. Meeting itself direct. And then slowly we will begin to move towards coming into the meeting at the surface that is taking place on a computer screen, sitting in front of a computer screen. Yet, that's not really where it's taking place. on a much deeper level which you are aware of. The meeting that always is being met at the surface through what appears to be many, and really met by the same. So very slowly, just getting a feeling of this miracle body, this physical body that you're traveling in. The shape of it, the edge of it, the limitation of it, the beauty of it. And how that is actually sitting in that which is aware. That awareness is not in this body and limited to the edge of this body, but awareness is within and beyond and throughout all things. And from my heart, I say thank you. And slowly, I invite you to gently come into the meeting, allowing these wonderful eyes to gently come open. Ah! It is a great pleasure always to meet myself directly and intimately. And when I do this, I'm recognizing myself in you. I'm giving honor to the truth of your being as myself. So don't get any funny ideas. I'm not. There are so many funny ideas around the spiritual. Scenes, and because I'm talking to many of you for the first time, I am aware that even though you are this depth of being, which I'm totally in love with as myself, also there are many levels to this being that one is. And on the surface, there is a lot of differences, a unique expression. And I respect that too. Because we are in this undoing, in this awakening, we are being called to integrate all levels. So let me first say what this call is really all about. It's really about calling more beings to come into a true meeting. This is not an entertainment where I'm here to entertain you, yeah, for an hour or 2 hours. This is really an invitation to deeply and truly meet, a calling for what is so radically needed in our humanity. It's not entertainment. It's a calling for a true meeting, and in this meeting I really invite deep questions, answers happen. Doesn't need to be a question, it can be a confirmation. But I really invite the true meeting, direct. It's not about getting on a path to follow somebody or start practicing to become anything. It's really, really about truly coming to meet what is really, really longed for in our humanity. The only thing that works. If your life is not about self-realizing, then what is your life about? What is your everyday tasks and energy spent on? Do you know what your life is really all about? So yeah, are you ready to simply and directly recognize what you really are in this body-mind? And what you're here for? I invite exploration of that. We're all in an awakening together as a human divine being. And we're all being made new. So you're welcome to interact and explore or confirm or whatever.
We have a couple of questions already.
Yeah.
I can hear myself feedbacking on your.
You can hear what?
Myself feeding on your speakers.
Oh, stop it.
Sorry. Lovely. We have a written question from someone who's unable to come on screen. It's, Dear Ananta, what is the purpose of the illusion, the world, and all the suffering? Thank you, Erwin.
What is the purpose? Yeah. You know, really, I can only say to you that in my vision, it's not with a purpose. But if there's any purpose at all, you know, it is to realize the true and deeper reality of the maker and creator of what is making all this. This body and this whole experience here is an absolute miracle in the first place. Yeah. So whatever it is that's put that together and made that possible is living through this form to realize itself. And in my view, it has manifested itself to realize itself. And whatever it takes, that's what it's going to be. You know, we had a private call with our Sangha last night, and I was sharing some things that are going on in the surface of the life of Ananta, yeah? And I began by saying that the life of this one hasn't been all sweet and easy and full of love and full of a sweet experience all the way. It's been a lot of challenge. And in this particular life stream, it's through the challenge that realization has always taken place. I'm not saying that that's required or necessary, yet it does seem to be a common thing that when we experience suffering, in that deep, deep suffering, there is a surrender of the egoic structures, because we're left with no other choice than to go, okay, I cannot do anything about this. Okay, I put my hands up. And when this little self who believes itself to be a separate entity puts the hand up, it's like a surrender to, in experience, a surrender to a higher realm. Well, that higher realm is already what is living you. You can call it higher, you can call it deeper. But that is already what you come from, what you're made from. This miracle doesn't just come out of the surface, right? I mean, that's obvious. This miracle cannot just manifest itself without an incredible, powerful, unimaginable, miraculous intelligence behind it. It cannot manifest itself without that. How can it come to be, you know? So whatever it is that gave birth to all of this must be living through this. And the mistaken identity of that being given a name at birth, that coming, as you know, anybody who's had experience with a baby being will see that when this little baby being arrives here, there is no thing but aware being looking through those eyes. There's just you know, no identification. Baby is just being and shitting and pissing and smelling, and there's no identification with that. There is no self-consciousness. It's free being intelligence, a bundle of essential being. Yeah, that's how each one comes in. And then given a name, that thing, that alive vibrating, miraculous being that just came out of what we call a vagina, yeah, just came out of there, oh, wow, with eyes looking, which are aware, being, free, just being itself, that is now given a name. Call that name, what do you want to call it? David, Paul, John, what do you want to call it? Give that a name and start repeating that name and calling that awareness by that name all day long. And in a certain moment, it's going to go, huh? An answer to that name. And there starts a process of identification. Yeah, and then at a certain point, that intelligence, that awareness which is free, that miracle of being, has then mistakenly identified with a name and this form. Now the suffering starts. Yeah, because before that moment there was baby crying. Yeah, but no identification with that. Just being, just it being, you know. So yeah, that's where the suffering starts, is with this identification. And then the life is being built up, experiences are all happening for this name and form, which then has an energy building itself up as somebody who you take yourself to be. You will tell all about your life or what happened to you, and you take yourself to be all of that. And when you really believe that, your next experiences are based on your past experiences, and the identification with that is the suffering. Because if you were just what you are here right now with no identification, you could be having an excruciating moment. Yet the fact that you overlook yourself as the awareness in which this is happening is where the suffering comes in. So in my view, and whatever is realized through my own living as this life stream, I will say that the only whole point to this life experience is to realize true reality, if there's any purpose. So all will be provided for that to take place. And what you're seeing in the world now, globally, you see the tremendous suffering that's going on, is a result of, I'll say thousands of years, but it may be longer than that. I'm not a historian, never was my subject, right? But let's just say, for want of a number, thousands of years of belief systems into separation. What we have now is mass distortion. And the result of that mass distortion creating all the madness. There's always been suffering, yeah? As far as we can remember, there's been wars and all this stuff, and it's all been out of duality, the belief in I am separate to you. I cannot say what is the purpose apart from this. I can say what is the purpose of being here in this body. It is to realize that you are the creator. You are the intelligence. But I would like to invite one of you to come and interact with me directly, because I find it really that within a meeting, a true meeting, you know, when I can interact with another being and really, really bring alive in experience that which cannot be spoken. That speaks more than any words can ever do.
We have Lean Santora.
Santora. I know that name.
Go ahead, Lean, or Lena. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm
Lena.
pronouncing it right. Lena.
Hi, Ananta.
What do I do?
Hi.
Un momentito, por favor. I know you're not Spanish.
No, can you see?
Hey, hello.
How are you?
Hey, hello.
Hi, Ananta.
Hi. How are you? Could we turn the volume, please? Up a little.
I'm fine. I've been going through the awakening process for now quite some time. And at this moment, these days, I feel extremely vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I am feeling everything.
Beautiful.
I'm feeling all the love. I'm feeling all the compassion. I'm feeling all the fear.
Yeah.
I'm feeling everything.
Yes.
And it makes me so raw and so vulnerable.
Beautiful.
And it's like my heart feels it. It's like the opening of the heart. And it's almost painful at times in the heart to feel I have all these feelings.
Yeah.
And it's powerful. And
Yeah.
I cry. All these feelings make me cry all the time. And I really don't know how to. Is this gonna sort of fall into place? Am I gonna
Fall into place for who?
Yeah.
What would it look like when it falls into place?
It's just like, well, will it continue be so? Will I continue feel so raw with all this? It's like I'm almost afraid of going outside because I feel assaulted. Sometimes of feelings. Yesterday, I went to see the new Blade Runner film with my brother, and I thought it was the scariest thing on earth. And I saw the first Blade Runner film, and I loved it, but I thought, I don't need this. We need some kind of positive science fiction films. I mean, this was just like, my God, it went in so deep, and it was just a film, and I knew this, but still, it was like an assault.
So what you're describing, Lena, well, in the first place, let me ask you, to who or to what is all this happening?
I know it's happening to the person to who I'm not.
Right.
I know that.
Right. So let me ask you, how do you know that?
I know that because I feel moving back and forth. I feel I can be in my person, in the ego, in all that, and I can be the self. I can be in the source. And I realize there is an entirely different experience.
So let me ask you, what if you can go right now, if you can actually go to what never changes with all this changing of experience? There's a place in you that doesn't go in and out, right?
Right.
Yeah?
Right. Yes.
So with all this changing experience, it's like there are many levels to what you are, and it's all happening in awareness. Yeah? For you to even be able to make the report, it must be happening in awareness. Yeah?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so there are all these different levels, and on the level of a smaller self, there is the feeling of overwhelm and too muchness and all of that, which is being experienced in awareness, right? So can you be within that experience, knowing yourself as awareness?
Yes, because underneath all these extreme feelings and emotions,
Yeah.
there's a place of stillness.
Right.
And I realized that this is unmovable. This doesn't change.
Exactly. So can you, to integrate that into all these levels and all these different experiences which are always going to be there, it's not about awakening to that one awareness and shifting to that and keeping all this out. It's not that at all. It's not about living beyond all that. That's one recognition. Yet once that is recognized, can you be the knowing of that which is still and free within? When you're in the feeling of too muchness and when you're in the feeling of vulnerability, can you know yourself right in the midst of all those waves? And then they are experienced as waves moving through you. You know, without identification, without landing in one of those aspects and one of those sensations. It's only when you land that you land in that place, and then, no, when is this all going to end? You know, that is one voice that's saying, when is that all going to end? Allow that wave to move through what is the wide openness of all of life and all beings, which is moving all through you as a consciousness in which the whole collective is moving through you. All these waves of all the different collective aspects of your own self are moving through you in just the same way. So it's, you can experience that and go, oh, you know, it's too much, and just experience that so fully as knowing awareness within that, and knowing that this awareness is what you are within that, experiencing that level of too muchness. That way you are imprinting and giving the message to that level. And there you integrate what you're knowing into that aspect and into another aspect and then to another aspect. So the integration of what you know deeply is coming to touch all those different levels of experience. Yeah?
Yes, I understand.
This is your work, Lena.
Yeah,
this is where your work is.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And at the moment, I still at times identify with the feelings
Yes.
that I
Yes.
get caught in. And then
Okay.
I manage to get out of it. And
Yeah.
I would really like to get to a place where, like you say,
Yeah.
I can swim the waves, all the waves. You know.
Okay. So you see that part of you or that aspect of you that would like to get to another place. Give that one up.
Oh. Okay.
Just right now. If you just give that one up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now, when you give that one up right now, what level do you land in? Or what level do you come to?
Well, it's just, it's I can't explain. There's nothing.
It's free, you know, it's free. Yeah?
Yes, it's freedom.
Yeah. So give that one up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because it's really like identification is always going to happen. Identification with the body mind will always happen. You know, that's part of this human experience. Identification will happen. Don't get identified with identification. The moment that you know, identification is here, so what? Who cares? But the moment that you start caring that identification is here, you are identified with identification.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. But the thing is that when I'm there, if I'm in an emotion and I feel it very strongly, and I really want to get out of it, then I'm resisting it, I suppose. And I don't know, I'm sort of struggling with this resistance thing, you know, because I have this thing, should I resist this negative emotion or shouldn't I? Should I just, you
You
know,
know, Lena, everything that you have resisted all through the life, when your eyes open and when you are here opening to what you really, really are, everything that's been resisted and repressed, pushed away, all of that is going to start coming up through your body, is going to start coming up into experience to be freed, to be seen with this new vision. Yeah? So that resistance can be old energy. So much resistance, old energy. Meet that resistance from the place of what you really are as awareness. Okay, you are awareness in the midst of an experience being resistant. So what? Don't resist that, you know. It's you will have to meet all the things of the life which you have tried not to feel. Because it's all coming to be freed. It's all like being released through consciousness. Let it all come. Find out what you are in the midst.
So all these emotions that are coming out now so strongly, all kinds of emotions, everything.
Yeah.
So just like let it just happen. Let it happen.
Just be here right in the midst of that and ride that wave. The moment you are here to feel whatever is here and ride that wave, it cannot last long because it's a wave of energy moving through. The moment you're here for the what rises up like despair, you are here to meet it. When you're not here to meet it and you go like, oh, I don't want this, you keep it.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything that you've been meeting in that way through the life is in your body, and your body is being made new by the way that you come from a new place, a new vision without identity. All your body, all your brain, everything will start changing depending on what you believe yourself to be.
Right.
Yeah?
Body is going so much also, my physical body,
Yeah.
with pain and everything. It's like so much, it's like it's my body is reacting to a lot of stuff at the moment also.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that.
You too.
Well, I every being I meet.
Yeah.
No, we're in this together. This is not happening to you as a person.
Yeah.
This is humanity.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah? You're part of a collective. You are the collective. All that's happening in the level to which you relate to and tune into is happening to a whole river of beings tuned into that frequency. You are never alone in that. Yeah? You cannot separate yourself. This seems to be your experience as Lena, but this is the experience that's happening in awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Ananta.
Thank you. Lovely to see you and meet you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, hello, Ananta.
Where are you?
Uh, doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, keep speaking. Hello.
Oh, yeah, hello.
Wow, where are you?
In London,
Oh,
in Putney,
oh,
London.
I was expecting you would say America somewhere.
No, I wish.
Really?
Um, yeah. No, actually, my question is a bit similar to the previous lady's
Mm,
question. It's about a lot of sort of sensations and emotions that sort of like just coming up
yeah.
that I'm not actually familiar with. Well, it seems unfamiliar, and even as I'm speaking right now, it kind of feels like there's a tendency to kind of identify as this person,
Yeah.
even though sometimes that can be seen through, and it can feel like there's a sense that actually everything's moving within, especially in the morning when I just wake up sometimes. There's that kind of sense that, oh, and I could hear my dog Phoenix moving around the house, and there's an acute sense that actually that sound is within me as opposed to out there. Um, but that kind of comes and goes. So sometimes, yeah. But during that meditation, that was there was some of that there.
Some of
Um,
what?
I mean, some of that. There was a sense of that recognition,
Yeah, yeah,
that there isn't anything out there
yeah,
the way it seems right now,
yes,
um, especially with the eyes closed.
yes,
There's just that actually,
yes,
there's nothing to hold on to,
yeah,
and everything's basically just, yeah, like
yeah.
I couldn't tell where anything was coming from, but
Right.
then like this, it's like, yeah, you
Uh,
know,
yeah, as soon as there's appearance,
yeah,
it's the play of appearance, right?
yeah.
But something in you is knowing deeper. Yeah, yeah. Even with all that uh, movie going on,
Mm,
something in you knows deeper.
okay.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So can you, in this moment, go to the placeless place where there's a knowing of deeper than this whole movie, this whole play, this whole matrix? Can you go right now to that placeless place, which is knowing? And as you do, just see that that is a shift of your perspective. It's a shift of where you look from. Do you see that?
Uh, I don't know, but there seems to be a looking,
Yeah.
a kind of strange sense of going deeper in the stomach area.
Yes. Yes.
It almost feels like a blankness. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes. So as you speak those words, from where are those words coming? Can you go to that place from where those words are coming?
I feel like I'm gonna shoot off my chair. Like, just like a.
So in this moment, what's the problem?
Oh.
And here you are, just being so free, just like a baby being, just being, yeah, with no filtering and no.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. This is your being. It's your being, just being. Your being, your depth of being coming to the surface. Yeah, allowing you to just freely. Yeah. It's
like
simple. Yeah.
energy buzzing around.
Yeah. I'm tasting that. I'm in that. I'm meeting that in you. Yeah. How lovely. And there is no like answer in words that could be better than this.
No.
Direct. No. And then after the mind tries to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
the
can
thing.
feel element of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just this, you know, how easily and simply are you this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Come down from Putney.
Yes, I will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Lovely to meet you.
Same.
Bless you.
If anyone has a question for Ananta, please raise your hand or you can send me a chat message. And while we wait, Erwin has sent you a message. He says, for answering his question at the beginning, bless you, Ananta. Thank you. Maybe the constriction of suffering and the ecstasy of liberation are part of the symphony of life. Like music has tension and resolution. Maybe suffering is not wrong. I hope to meet you in Hove on Saturday. Bless you again, Erwin.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, joy and pain are one. Thank you, Erwin. I hope to meet you too. There was somebody who physically raised the hand. Can you see, Joan?
I can't see. Let me just scroll through because I have, oh, there we go. I see. Here we go. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ananta. Very nice to be here and to be with everybody else here as well. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. What is your name?
My name is James.
James.
So nice, yes. So nice to meet you all and you as well, Ananta.
You too. Where are you on this globe?
I am in Canada, in British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, hello. Yes.
My question is, I guess I've had this question for decades, I suppose, and I suppose like most of us that are here today is we see the bigger picture. We may have gone through spiritual practices. We may have had some type of awakening or expansion and a knowingness that this physical form is simply a play in consciousness that has a beginning and an end.
Yes.
I don't necessarily subscribe to the doctrine of reincarnation. I think when the physical body goes, everything goes with it. Our thought, everything that we've accumulated, knowledge, that all goes, that all dissolves. Mm-hmm. It has to, otherwise, this would have to be a reality. But the question I've been seeking for a long time, and I've had some small glimpses of expanded consciousness, etc. I make no claim to enlightenment or recognition of the self, although I have had some taste that I know that ultimately is how it is. That's how the structure of everything is. But my question is, when this body ultimately falls away, when it plays out, which it will for all of us, will there be a recognition at some level of our beingness, that which is the background to all life? Do we just go to sleep and the beingness is still there like a car idling, the engine is idling, but it's not in gear, it's not going forward, it's not going backwards? I don't know if you can speak to that or not, or whether it's, I don't even know what the relevance to it is. If there's no body and it goes, does it really matter anyways, you know? So I don't know if that's something you could speak on or not.
Yeah, my feeling is, and my knowing when I go deeper, is that the being knows itself always, right? So at the point of physical death, when the end of the mind and identity and egoic structures, the being is, yeah?
Yes.
So the recognition of that, it's never happening for the egoic structures or the identity, yeah? So whether there's a recognition of the being to itself as the crossing over happened, I cannot say whether it happens for every, if we want to call it soul, whatever we want to call that bridge, yeah? I cannot say that it will happen, yet I mean, I cannot say that I experience because I'm still having a body, yeah? But in the moments that I've come close to beings who are crossing over, there is definitely a gap where there's recognition. You know, there's a, I don't know if you've ever heard of the human design system, but he gives a really, really beautiful talk on that gap.
Okay.
And it's the 3 days when there's the traveling through the bardos, the first stage of the bardos.
Yes.
And, you know, it has a lot to do with how much attachment there is, just like in the life. It's no difference than in the death. How much attached we are to thoughts and everything that's passing by. You know, how much attached to that you are. There's no recognition of free space. Well, to the same degree at the moment of death, how attached you are to grasping and holding.
The illusion.
Yeah, you can still get carried, or as a consciousness, still get carried away in that level, you know?
In that dreamland, yeah.
Yeah, you can still get carried away. And then the taking of a birth. I mean, for me, there is no death and rebirth. There's only one continuous changing of forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose it would come down to the awareness of that form, and if there is no form, is there any awareness? You know, that's more, I guess, my question. And
yeah.
I guess the other comment I'd like to make is, oftentimes you read, you know, certain people I have an affinity towards, like Osho and Nisargadatta, there's a number of other people, but my sense is that often they speak about the urgency for self-recognition.
Yeah.
And if we took two scenarios, for example, one person who was, if you can work towards that, I mean, we are what we are, we don't change that, but for somebody who, let's say through meditation practices, is able to some degree recognize the self, and another person who is just totally caught in the illusion and just, goes to work, pays his bills, and dies. Is there a difference between those two types of beings in the end? Does one, it's not that you get a reward for it, but is there, I wonder if there's when the body passes, in other words, why do they say that it's important that we recognize the self while we're in this form? I guess that's my question.
Well, ultimately, I cannot say if there's a difference at the point of whether there's recognition at the point of crossing over. Yet, I do recognize that there is a difference in, like, whatever the point of realization is, when the crossing over and the changing of form, the next form that's taken is taken up at that point. Based on,
if you want to use the word, I guess.
Realization.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then to use words next life, but I'm still saying that I don't see as next life because it's all just one continuous changing. So the so-called next life is picked up with it's like
impressions, maybe
that's done. Yes, and then it's realization takes off from there. I would say beings that have just been incarnated only to come back to be a beacon of light, say Ramana Maharshi, whose whole life was a demonstration of this.
Yes.
In my view, and I just say in my view, whatever has gone before in the, to want of a better word, soul of that being, it's already done and it's come in just with the karma to reincarnate to put this into form, realization.
Perhaps there is a choice at somewhere along the spectrum that we when I say we, there's no individual, but at some point the beingness, expresses itself as a need for humanity, perhaps, or I don't know.
I don't know if the beingness has any need. Yet I would say that there is for the identification with, there is a karmic play in the impressions. There is a karmic play in the impressions. So just as within the life, there's a karma to live out. It's accumulated belief systems dying and taking form. Even within the life, you have the possibility to make the change through awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, even in the life, even in every moment of your everyday, the moment that you step in as awareness and cut the karmic play, you've already ended a karma.
Right.
So, so even at the point that's a death.
Yeah.
That in itself is a death. And if you are willing to live that way, where you're penetrating as awareness into everything that's not real and true, you're dying as to what you once have been and being born every moment.
You're dying to the unreal aspect of the illusion.
Yes. So this is death and rebirth, just as much as death as the body. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you cannot, it has no life anymore. Who you've taken yourself to be is dying, and that can be just as painful and scary and everything as it can be as being afraid to let go of this body.
Yes.
Yeah. Being willing to die in life, I would say, has a tremendous impact on, I perceive that the death of the body is the greatest experience of the life. If you really be there, you can really know how to let go into God. That must be the greatest cosmic orgasm. That's my perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the practice of how you live your life. Are you willing to die to what you hold on to on a moment-to-moment basis? That's the practice of dying consciously.
Yes.
Die consciously. This must be the purpose of this life, if there's one.
Yeah. To unfold the illusion, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. When we incarnate, at the point of conception, there's no this fake I that we carry around. I'm James and I have this and I live here. That fake identity doesn't really realize itself till we're probably 2 or 3 years old or something. So at that point, all these conceptions come into this being. I'm a male, I live here, I have this destiny, etc. But that's all artificial. And so when this thing plays out, that all must go with it. That has to all go down the drain with it.
Of course. I mean, that can all go right now.
Absolutely, yes.
Right now, if you're willing to drop all that and truly meet,
Right.
You drop the identification with that. It has no real life.
Right.
Yeah,
that can go up. Yeah, you're right. That can go without, this can remain and that identity can be gone. Well, this is still here.
I mean, that's the whole point of self-realizing, It's like I walk with a shape and a form of what they call female, but they only call it female. What is it if you don't call it female? Yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it is no different from anything else. But I walk with this and I play as this, I do all those things. But I know myself much deeper than this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know myself as the same beingness that you are before any gender.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes.
So, but still, there is this play of, I have also a level where I look through the eyes of woman.
Yes.
Yeah? Not to pride.
Yeah.
It's just the landing in that as an identification and a holding to that is free.
Yes. Well, I really appreciate your viewpoint, and I share that with you. And I don't want to monopolize the time here. I'm sure there's other people here that may have some questions. So
thank you,
again,
James.
thank you very much for being here, and I thank everybody else here as well for partaking in this, because it's really probably the most important thing that we can do, for ourselves as much as we're not ourselves, and for the world. So again,
absolutely, yes. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Mm. Mm.
We now have Steve, and I just need to find him here.
I like to kiss your cheek.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. I can't see you yet.
All right.
Speak. Just keep speaking.
Okay, testing. Steve, testing. I'm here somewhere.
Louder.
And I'm waving my hand.
Ah, yes. There you are. Hello.
Hi.
Wow. Are you in a really, really good hotel, or is this your bedroom?
My bedroom.
Very nice. 5-star. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Ananda.
Which part of the globe?
Ananda, but you're not Ananda, but you are as well.
Yes.
So the opportunity to be supported in what I strive for is of knowing myself. I wanted to share kind of my touch points as my effort. One is when I've experienced people close to me dying, I feel this, I guess a traditional, I assume other people experience this, there's a shock when there's a death of someone, And in that shock during the funeral, and there's a sense of space that I'm disembodied. And my intuition is that space is reality that we're normally
Absolutely.
distracted from. And it's, if there wasn't the sadness, there would be this wonderful truth experientially of our spatial awareness nature. And
Steve,
then that's
Steve, you're absolutely right. And what I want to ask you is, how far away is that space right now?
well, it's immediately,
if you
the fidelity is not there. It's right here.
Right. If you just take a moment to stop and you really, really look, how far away is that space right now? Yeah.
It's, well, and that's basically, that's one of my touch points of knowing, or my own internal proof or validity of who I really am. I know that this body is arising in that space, and my sense of pressure in my head, my hands, my feet, my chest, all these familiar sense of the earth suit that take up 85 to 95% of my sense of self most of the time. In this moment, if I shift to kind of the visual sense of just the light of reality of the space, there's a sense of mental light that I'm aware of the space, that I know is kind of the nature of that in a death experience.
What about dying right now into the recognition of that?
Easier
Right
said.
now, to die right now as a separate entity, to just die to any identification with anything, to just die right now and take a look really from what you are. Where do you begin and where do you end?
There's a spatial oneness of a field of reality, that there's a sense of, just a sense of openness and space that's very subtle.
Let's drop right into that. I'll meet you right there in that sense. Let's go right there. Let's go right there. You say there's a sense. There must be something which is aware of that sense.
Like the eyes and my upper throat heart area is aware of it. My belly is like more grounded here, but my eyes and my upper heart are kind of open to the space.
Right. So something is able to notice all of that, and something is able to make the report that my belly is like this and my eyes are like that. Something is noticing all of that. Let us find where is that something. What is noticing and seeing all of that and making this report? What is that?
A sense of very impersonal beingness, just awareness.
Okay, so you say a sense of, then what is aware of that sense? Yes. Mm. Now, right here, can you find a place where what you experience yourself as right now, can you find a place where that comes to an end?
Right now, there's just this kind of wordless mysterious sense of existence that's just
Yes.
a lot of stuff.
Yes.
There's a sense of being.
Exactly. Allow that to just keep opening. Really, and that's where you just giving away giving up the attachment to a small self called Steve and just giving yourself back to this wide open, spacious being aware of itself, which is a deeper level of you where all knowing is. It's direct and immediate.
What's coming up is an impersonal field, and down in the belly area there's a sadness of romantic safety with mama, with family, versus this impersonal field of infinity with nobody to hug me, just mysterious, non-mammalian comforting space versus fearful longing of just like a baby wanting mommy, just feeling safe in my home.
So then what you are, there are these different levels. You are aware of the different levels, and if you don't shift to one and make it versus to the other, and you are aware of all these levels at the same time, not being in denial of any of it, in the knowing, because in your deepest level there is pure knowing that you are here incarnated with this body to experience all of that in and as awareness. All of that, all included in.
Excuse me.
Not being either or. Will this be laughter or tears or both at the same time? What could possibly feel lonely right now? All is so totally met right here. In this moment, Steve, in this very, very moment, is there something missing?
There's just unknown. There's a little intimidation of just there's this possibility, there's this field of oneness, of shapes put in oneness, and it's unknown. It's not a mammal safety. It's a formless possibility, and there's a mammal hesitation of like jumping out of the nest or jumping out of my cozy crib or whatever, wherever my object relation of where I'm safe as a body in this kind of field that isn't really threatening, but it's just not human.
So what you're doing is you are aware of a much deeper level of yourself and opening up as that. And then the identity is getting afraid of death because if you really drop here and you really come here and open and you see that there can never be anything missing here, that will be the death of this poor little me who has its stories of something missing and something needed and something, and it will be the death of that one, and that is the one who is afraid to die, not only right here in this moment, but all the way through the life, and in every situation it defends itself, it protects itself, it holds back, it does all these things in the middle of relating, and it will continue to feed itself if it stays in those ways to the point of death of the body and afraid to let go of this body. It's right now. Right now is the letting go into this knowing. That sense of fear is just a sense in awareness. There is no entity there. And I invite you to explore that for yourself. Don't take my word for it, but actually try to find an entity other than what this is as awareness.
There's this space that's reality, the space that's reality, the endless, everything's arising in this space.
Yeah.
And actually, I know I am that space, essentially.
Yeah.
And there's this deep, deep primal like root, the root of my little Scorpio tail, of my first chakra, of just an umbilical body mammal that's just, it's that. It's just like.
So that's allowed to be here. Just the allowing of that to be here. It's part of the reality of all the levels of what we, I also have here the knowing of this, and I have like, I don't know, I have my cup of tea, I have my Palo Santo, I have my little particulars, and all of that is freely allowed to be here.
That root is my soulmate dream, my desire, my non-enlightened, detached soulmate.
Oh, it's all coming out now.
Yeah. You've even been in it.
Yeah.
But the idea of the soulmate and happily ever after and enjoying from a mammal life of.
I wonder how many on the call have found their perfect other one to fit.
I know that's an illusion. I know I can't enjoy it until I die, but I'm afraid if I die, I can't enjoy it.
The only thing, Steve, is the reality of this moment. The rest is a dream. Yeah? You can dream, no problem. You can dream, no problem, but realize that you are dreaming.
Thanks for sharing, allowing me to share my.
Well, sorry to blow your, but I'm not really sorry. It's honest truth.
You what?
I said, I'm sorry to blow your dream, and the truth is I'm not really sorry. Quite honestly.
Well,
because
thank you.
I have lived through the pain of having my dream blown over and over. Yeah? And I fucking, I want. And I had to realize over and over that it's a dream. The only thing is what is here right now.
I cry when I see a movie on TV with a happily ever after where it's somebody's real hard-hearted and all of a sudden there's a change. And there's this part of me, human, that is like giving up my most mellow, noble, romantic, loyal longing that seems so self-righteously.
Drama, you are attached to the drama.
The warmest, most
you are attached to the drama.
Story of love.
You are attached to the drama of love, not real love. And if that comes along and the partner comes, the one that you're dreaming of, comes along, you will make drama and drama and drama. Ooh la la. So much energy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, really. What a drama. I've been there, I've done it, and I will not do that again. For real meeting of love, oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. Don't give me anything less than that ever. Yeah?
That's it. That's exactly it. And it's hard to let that go. I've tried to let that go, but part of it is maybe humbly sharing the reality of, at least the mammal gut level, sincere longing for that, where how do I bring it enough into authentic sacrifice of surrender? And that's
See
part
the
of sharing it
truth.
with you.
See the truth. See it for what it is. And if you are fighting against the truth, you're going to lose, basically.
Thank you for bringing light and love into my core gut illusionary brain.
You are welcome. Out of love. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Next. Next we have, I hope I pronounced this correctly, Avan, I believe is next. Go ahead, please.
Where? Can you speak, please, Avan?
Hey, it's Avanya speaking.
Avanya.
Yeah.
Keep speaking. Do I go there?
Okay.
Keep speaking so I get you on the... Yes, hello. Hello, where are you?
I'm here.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Are you in the Middle East?
You see,
I see
yeah. Well, when you are kind of fixable, you just want to play with the stuff around you, right?
I don't hear you clearly. What do you say?
When you are fixable, you just want to play with the stuff that around you, right?
Fixable.
Like
flexible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but no, I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have some beautiful birds around you.
Yeah, well, it's in laptop. I just played. You know, I have a tremendous fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's around my chest.
Fear, you mean fear just in this moment or with some kind of...
In this moment, yeah.
In this moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just welcome that.
Mm-hmm.
That sensation in the chest. Let's just welcome that wave of sensation and experience. Let's just go right to it and be here in it. All that it needs is to be met in your presence. Is it okay to be here?
Yes.
Ah.
The worst thing is
Sorry?
the
What?
the things that it shouldn't happen. The mind is just try to be Socratic, just try to copy what's going on,
The mind is trying to what?
to copy that what's going on, just repeating that.
The mind is trying to copy what? Copy what?
Okay, just
Could you come away from the microphone a little bit and say it again, because I'm not hearing you clearly. You say the mind is trying to copy something?
yeah, mind is just trying to repeat itself, like it's just idea thing. It should go. It will go.
I'm having trouble hearing you, Avanya.
Oh,
I'm having trouble hearing you clearly.
okay.
Could you type the thing you want to say? Or do you have a suggestion, Joanne?
No, I'm actually having a little difficulty hearing him as well. I think partly it's the birds is, but
yeah, I think that's what it is, Vanya.
Okay, so I'm just gonna close the bird.
Close the birds.
No, he's just going to type a message. He's closing the video to type a message. While we're waiting, if anyone else has a question, we probably have time for one more, and you can raise your hand by going to the bottom of the participants menu, or you can send me a chat message. Right now, there's no other questions.
He's kind of playing.
Okay, he's saying, I wanted to say that my mind is playing. And it's playing with him. It's and that's just what he's typed. But what he said before is it's like it's repeating everything that's going on, is what I'm understanding. So it's
what?
So
Okay, I see.
I want to get you back on the screen.
Okay.
Can you speak? Just speak.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what? It doesn't matter what the mind is doing.
Okay, I see.
Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Let the mind do what the mind does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. 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 It's just singing like the birds, Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take it so seriously. Don't take it personal.
I see.
Thank you, Avanya. A pleasure to meet you. Joanne?
Next, we have Kate has just asked to speak with you. And
okay, this is the last?
Yes, this is the last one.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kate.
Start speaking, Kate.
We can't hear you, Kate.
Where is Kate?
I see her waving, but we can't hear you, Kate. No, we can't hear you. Sorry. No, she's not muted. No, she is unmuted.
Start singing, Kate.
She's singing, but Kate, if you look at the microphone on your Zoom dock and there's a white arrow next to it, check to see if your speaker is properly selected, because you're unmuted, but we're not getting any sound from you. If not, you could type your message, your question for Ananta, but see if you can pick the right microphone.
Will, hello. I just saw. Ah, and Margaret, hello.
On your iPad, Kate, it's actually in your settings. And you have to go into your Zoom settings to allow the microphone. She disappeared.
Okay.
I think she just dropped out.
Is that you raising your hand, Will? So I think Will wants to come on, but
Okay,
he's raising his physical hand, so I don't know.
Go ahead, Will.
Hello there, can you hear me?
Yes, keeps hello.
Hi there, can you hear me?
I can hear you and see you. Yeah.
Hi, Ananta.
Hi, hello to both of you.
It's lovely to see you again.
Is that Margaret there?
It is, yes.
Yeah. It's lovely to see you too. Yeah. You too.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, I had a question, Ananta, that's been coming up, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to come out. It's about this direct seeing and trying to see through the illusion of the I and the me, and feeling awareness as being the reality, but then contrasting that with this feeling when I'm dropping, although I'm not getting that as intensely as I was last time I saw you, but I still go there. It's like, how are the two things connected?
How is what connected? Dropping?
How, the feeling of feeling still and that sort of deep presence, connected with the no seeing and expanded awareness. It's like I can't connect the two. It's like one is involved in sitting still and being really still and feeling really those feelings of presence, and yet how does that relate to seeing through the illusion of the personal me?
Okay.
I don't know if that makes
sense. In this moment, Will.
Yeah.
Come to the placeless place of what you know deeper than anything. Just come right here, right now. And this is quiet. It is the most quiet, placeless place in you, which is always quiet, regardless of a place in you which is always quiet, which is always aware. Never changing. You are aware of that right now? Yeah? Right. So when you come to that, where do you go in yourself? Can you describe where you go in yourself when you come to the awareness?
I'm going down into like below my chest and into my stomach area, really.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Right. So right here is this knowing. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right here is this knowing. And this is direct. This is not something to understand. This is just direct. You just come right to this knowing of what is always quiet and always aware. Yeah? So at the same time, you are aware of talking on a computer screen, having this experience that will soon pass. Yeah? So this experience that will soon pass is the coming and going, the coming and going, the coming and going in what doesn't come and go. So this experience, in a matter of minutes, this experience will be finished and another experience will be happening, and then another experience and another experience. Yet what you're knowing deeply in right now where you go to your knowing of what is deeper and always aware and always quiet, this is the same in every experience. Is the same right here, the same. The experiences are passing in what never passes, right? So can you, if there's a question, can you form it right now?
How can I keep the stillness when all of that's going on?
Forgive my laughter. Don't try to keep stillness. That is movement. The trying to keep stillness is a movement itself. The trying to grasp, the trying to hold, the trying to keep is movement. See, regardless of all experience, what never moves. So I would say to you, try to get rid of awareness. Try to get rid of it, don't try to keep it. If you want to make a movement, try to get rid of it. The effort to try to keep is the noise. What you are as being is much more simple. Always here, always, just like the space, you're looking into a computer screen, but there's a space between your body and the computer screen. That space is always here, in between every single, apparently, in between objects. Yet, if you really, really look, where do you end and that space begin? Look into that space right now and tell me if it is aware or not. What you are trying to grasp and trying to keep is an experience. You want to keep an experience, and the nature of experience is to come and to go. So the moment you're trying to keep something as experience, you're in the coming and going. It's time It's time to let it all go, Will. You've done enough trying. It's time to let go of trying to keep. If you want to try to get rid of awareness. Find out in the midst of any and all experience if awareness is not here.
I think where I'm getting stuck is that I feel that there's no difference between awareness and presence. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
But
well, awareness itself gets misidentified as a separate self. So that is still another aspect of awareness. You know, so awareness takes all forms. It takes the form of a misidentified self-person. That's still awareness thinking it's somebody called Will. Yeah. So presence is what we're meeting right here in and as. Yeah. Presence is what is always now. Yeah. So you can be in the misidentification of will and in all kinds of things, and there is no presence here to meet. So we cannot really say that awareness and presence is the same thing. You get what I mean? Presence is when awareness is right here as itself, present to itself. But presence is here all the time. And it's only when the attention is all going on the coming and going, and the part of the coming and going, you're making an experience of awareness. Yeah. So the experience that you have when you have the taste of this true meeting, there's an experience within that. And you want to grasp that experience. But you have to keep just let it, just doesn't matter what is it. Just look at the empty space in this room. It doesn't care about how many objects are in the room. It doesn't care about if all the objects are taken or whether they all stay or more come in. It's free. So the next stage for you, you know, the recognition is here, but the next stage is that you come to see free awareness. We will go.
I'll miss the deep presence then. I feel like I'll lose something.
Yeah, that's what you're being called to. That's what you're being called to. Because if you right now drop into a deeper level of you right now, just come and drop into a deeper level of you, into the place where you know absolutely that you are not this little person. Just drop into that knowing. And tell me what you're missing.
It's always here.
You just drop into your knowing. Come to your knowing. You are trying to get the experience on the surface level of yourself.
Yeah.
You're trying to get the experience up here on the surface. But all you have to do is come to your knowing, which is deeper. And that's always here, regardless of the experience. So it's all within you, and as you, it's all just come to your knowing. Immediately. The chasing of the experience is on the surface. It's not in your deeper knowing. So in any given moment, ask yourself, what do I know deeper than anything right now? And immediately, where does that take you?
Say the question again, Ananta. The what?
In any given moment, in the midst of any moment, ask yourself, what do I know? What do I know deeper? What is knowing deeper than experience right now? And where does that take you?
Right inside myself.
That's it. That's it. You have to go there. While you're trying to get experience on the surface and figure out how to get it and keep it, you're on the surface. You just go to the deeper knowing. So all these levels of your being are here at the same time. They're all here at the same time freely. So the moment will come where you're knowing them all at the same time, rather than try to keep one or the other, but you're knowing all at the same time. Yeah? And it's your beautiful woman's work to continually call you to that. Yeah? I'm happy to know that you're coming down soon. Yeah? Lovely. It may not be the answer that the mind wants, but just go to your knowing constantly. Go to your knowing. Without attachment, just keep going to your knowing. And take every decision from that knowing and move into your life from that knowing. For that, you've got to stop and drop, you know. Lovely to see you both. Is that clear, Will?
It's very helpful, Ananta. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Yeah. Okay. Joanne?
Yes, thank you so much. We're at the end of our day.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay, so for those of you who would like to hear about the announcement that Joanne will make about a special offer that we're offering at the end of this call, I just want to say that we have a private little sangha where we meet every 2 weeks intimately. It's a small group that is growing, and it's very intimate and very sweet and deep. Joanne will give you some information about an offer that's open right now for all you on the call. And otherwise, I thank you all for being here, and I appreciate your interest and your attention and your presence, most of all. Yeah.
Thank you, Ananta.
Thank you. Bye for now.